All right, ladies and germs. It's time for the late night boxing talks. I wanted to get one out ahead of the Joe Smith Jr. versus Artur Beterbiev light heavyweight unification match this upcoming weekend. I also wanted to touch on a couple of talking points, couple of things that have been circulating in the news. You heard Floyd Mayweather very recently say that there are too many belts. He's been saying this for a very long time. And I've always felt that when he says this, he's saying it with an agenda. He's saying it for a reason. He's been saying this as far back as 2020, as you can see based on the screenshot up here. That as far back as 2020, Floyd Mayweather has maintained that there are too many belts in boxing, even though he himself made it a priority to collect many of those belts. So why all of a sudden is he changing his demeanor? We'll get to that. Give me a second. Y'all just bear with me. Because I want to open this up to the panel. And you can see that he's still saying the same thing. You can see that he's basically still saying the same thing this year in 2022, as far back as 2020 and as recent as last month. Floyd maintains that there are too many belts in boxing and they're watering down the sport. Now, why do you think he's really saying this? Do you think he's saying this with the fighter's best interests in mind? Do you think he's saying this because, he really feels that way? Or is he saying this as a way to draw attention away from Devin Haney? Because it's not a coincidence that when Devin Haney goes undisputed, all of a sudden Floyd wants to diminish what it means to hold a belt and become an undisputed champion. At a time when Jermall Charlo's doing it, at a time when becoming an undisputed champion is of significance. You'll notice that that's when Floyd decides to come out and say, oh, well, there are too many belts. Well, if there are too many belts, then why is Gervonta Davis holding one? It's a secondary title. We all know that. But if there are too many belts, why did you pursue so many in your career? And why is Gervonta Davis holding one if you're saying that there are too many of them?
What's good, fellas?
Hey, what's goody country? What's goody East? I'm here to talk about the hypocrisy of Floyd Mayweather, among other things.
Get into it.
And I just got to get this off my chest. Like, listen, man. Floyd don't pay no bills around here, first and foremost, right? So I'm not like, he got like a cult of guys that if he told them to suck his dick, they do it. 100%. Right? He got like a cult of guys like that. And Floyd don't pay no bills around here. He might have been a great boxer and all of that shit, and that's awesome. But at the end of the day, you a fucking hypocrite, fam. Who making all that noise?
My bad. That's me. I thought my mic was muted.
I dig it. At the end of the day, he's a fucking hypocrite. Because if you've been harping about how there were too many belts for like 2, 3, 4, 5 fucking years, why did you make it a point to get Gervonta Davis a baby belt at 135 and at 140? If it's too many fucking belts, what he need one for? Ain't he the biggest draw in boxing to where he don't need a belt? What I see Floyd is doing, and the reason I think he keeps saying this, it's not because there are too many belts. No, that's not why he's saying that. A lot of people feel that way, but that's not why he's saying that. He's saying that so that Gervonta Davis never has to fight for one. That's why he's saying that. He didn't want him to have to go through Loma. He didn't want him to have to go through Lopez. Right now, he don't want him to have to go through Haney. He don't want that. The real reason that Floyd is always saying it, because he pick and choose when he want to start saying that shit. When Canelo became undisputed, you didn't hear Floyd saying there were too many belts. He said a lot of shit about Canelo, but he didn't say, oh, it was too many belts. He says this shit strategically pertaining to the lightweight division. If you pay attention, he would always strategically say this shit whenever Vasyl Lomachenko would do some shit, he did that shit for a long. There's too many belts. Only reason you saying that is so that Davis don't have to fight him. It's the only reason you saying that shit. And it's tired, you know what I mean? Because when someone like me points that out, or a Isan points that out, or a Michael or a Sawab or somebody, you gonna get some cocksucking ass motherfucker that act like Floyd pay bills in his house arguing about the shit. Do you want to see Gervonta Davis fight for Undisputed or not? Because it is that simple. Do you want to see him fight the Devin Haneys of the world or not? Because it really is that simple. If you're a boxing fan, I don't know if Floyd pay bills in your house. I don't know. I don't know. But I know he don't pay no motherfucking bills around here, right? So I don't owe him shit. I don't have to be loyal to fucking Floyd. Floyd never did a goddamn thing for me, all right? All I am is a boxing fan. And unless your fighter that you promote, Gervonta Davis, unless he gonna fight for them belts, he ain't fighting shit. What you want us to do? Think he's great because he beat Rolly Romero? Then you get mad when we say, no, he's not great. Because Rolly wasn't great. Isaac wasn't great. Barrios wasn't great. And I know that the only reason Floyd is saying that is because Devin Haney became an undisputed champion not but a few weeks ago. Talk about it, Eson. What do you think?
He's doing it because another reason he campaigned in that division and he didn't get that. Whenever a guy does something in a division Floyd didn't, he always done some sucker shit about it. Like you always see that. It always correlates back to him. And I think the reason he said about Haney is yes, because Floyd's he's being a hypocrite when it comes to Tank, but also because he never did Undisputed. I'm kind of out right now, but I'm about to get my car. My bad.
Yeah, because you got music playing in the background. Don't get me in trouble.
You got a party going.
Yeah, like don't get me in no shit. Like, country. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I think Floyd's ego. I mean, he can't help it. He's got to do that. Anything that gets close to his division, his accomplishments. I mean, you even seen him doing stuff like that with Tank. When he had that fight around the same time. Now it's still there's too much belts. I mean, it's always something because I don't think his ego can take it, and he still wants to be relevant. He still wants to be in the limelight, and it bothers him that he's not. I mean, look at that one video with him and AJ in England, where everybody was adoring AJ, and he was looking awkward as hell, like he didn't know what to do, and you could see it was bothering him.
Listen, country. I think that video. It highlights what a lot of people talk about, what I've talked about a lot of the time on the channel, that, look, Floyd was great, and he was part of some of the biggest fights, but don't think that 2 million Mayweather fans bought the Maypac fight. No, that wasn't 2 million Mayweather fans. Don't think 2 million Mayweather fans bought the Conor McGregor. No, that wasn't 2 million Mayweather fans. People act like he's beloved, or that he sold all those pay-per-views by himself. By himself, you know what you get? The Andre Berto numbers. That's what you get. 300 and change. Because by yourself, that's who was interested, all right? You needed another big name to sell a big fight. You needed big names to do that. You didn't do that alone. And there's this misconception that Floyd can't say nothing wrong, or he can't be a fucking hypocrite when he look like a fucking hypocrite to me. If it's too many fucking belts, why you spent so much time collecting them shits?
Look at that.
Look at that shit. You could turn around. You could turn around from your little fucking high horse because you ain't that tall. So you could turn around. Oh, now it's too many belts. Now it's too many. When Devin Haney becomes undisputed at lightweight, where your hype job campaigns, oh, now it's too many belts.
Hey, Julius.
Did he never get an IBF belt?
First of all, how's everyone doing? Long time after a long time, I'm joining the show. I hope everyone's great. Listen, Julius, stop hating on Tank. He's already beaten every single person, every single division.
He's a 3-division
130,
champion,
135, 140, 147, 154, all of them. He's already beaten all of them. So
pound for pound,
we don't need to see the fights. Let it be.
We don't need to see the fights, man. He beat everybody.
Yeah, we already know he beats all of them. He beats all of them just because he beat Rolly Romero.
Let me read the super chat, and I want to go to Michael. Davis fighting for undisputed or secondary undisputed? Let the verbal beating begin. Now let's start this shit. Michael, Floyd pick and choose when he want to say this goofy ass shit. He really do, because I pay attention. In case you guys haven't noticed, I'm very observant. And he, like Fury, you know how Fury always announces some shit after Anthony Joshua? Floyd always does this shit when there's movement at like 135 or 130. Wherever Tank is, he'll do this corny ass shit because, look, you can have a bunch of money. You still a corny ass motherfucker. Like, I don't know when people started thinking that you can't be a corn fucking ball and have money. You can have all the money in the world and still be a fucking cornball. And I look at Floyd as being a cornball because I know what you're doing. Other people don't see it, but I see it. The only reason you saying that shit is because you don't want Davis to fight Haney. That's why you saying that shit. You trying to belittle what it means to be an undisputed champion because your fat fucking butterball ain't never gonna be that. He never gonna be that. And you never was that. You never was undisputed. You had one belt in the welterweight division, the Manny Pacquiao fight. That was a 3-belt unification match. Did he go get the last belt from Kel? No. No. Yeah, 1 belt, bro. You the cash flow boxing. Any fight that can be made, any fight, you can make it because you Floyd Mayweather. But you like to belittle and berate people that do things that you didn't do. You was never undisputed champion. Your fighter, I promise you, he will never be undisputed. I promise you.
Julius. Okay, let's go with what Floyd Mayweather is saying. Okay, there's too many belts. I think it's right. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of 1 belt. Gonna get rid of other. Jay is gonna get rid of other one because there are 4 major.
Yeah,
I don't like the WBC.
Fair enough.
And WBA.
Fair enough.
Okay, there is 1 more. Julius, what other belt you want to get rid of?
I'd like to get rid of the WBA regular. I'd like to get rid of that one.
Okay, guess what? Devin Haney still has 2 of those. So get ready of all the belts that you don't like. Get with 1. Devin Haney is still a world champion, and Tank Davis is not.
Yeah, the world champion.
If we were to get rid of all the alphabet titles, Devin Haney would be still be lineal, and Ring Magazine champion. Still. And Ring Magazine doesn't charge sanctioning fees for their belts. So his whole little speech about how, they take 10% and 10%, repeating that same shit like he got Alzheimer's and 10%. All right, let's take away all Devin Haney's belts. Let's take away all the belts at 135. You know he's still he's still lineal. Like, he's still literally the champion at that weight. And your man is not. Davis, you take away his secondary baby belt, what he got? What he got?
Nothing.
He ain't even got a fucking resume. Who he fought?
Can you remind me which belt, the legit belt that he had? It was at 130.
It was at 130, and it was the IBF that he won from Pedraza.
He had the WBA belt too, right?
So how
he did, but the way that he got it,
champion.
Hold up, one at a time, fam. The way that he got it was some bullshit because Alberto Machado, 9 months before, 9 months, bro, almost a year, 9 months before Davis versus Cuellar, which was for the WBA Super, 9 months before that, Alberto Machado knocked out Jezreel Corrales, and Jezreel was the WBA Super Champion. So how the fuck 9 months later, Gervonta end up with it, and he end up with a Reggie belt?
That was some corrupt shit if I've ever seen it.
I'm sick of this shit. Like the reason I'm sick of this shit, it's not because we can't point this out. No, we can point it out. It's that when we point it out, you always get some cucks, some weird, odd motherfuckers that want to argue about. It's nothing to argue about, bro. If you so averse the alphabet titles in the sport of boxing, then tell Gervonta to drop his first. Easy. Tell him that's your fighter, right? And you saying it's too many belts in boxing. Tell him to drop his first then.
To put it simply, Floyd only says this shit to justify Gervonta not fighting any elite fighter. That's it.
Floyd think his shit don't stink and he a cornball.
But he gets away with it, honestly, if we're being real. Because look at Gervonta's pay-per-view numbers. He gets away with it. I mean, they're not the best.
You know why? You know why I say he doesn't get away with it? Because the act of him having to say that, he knows that the pressure is on. When you on a podcast with people like Gilly the Kid and they asking you, yo, when you gonna fight Lopez? When you gonna fight Loma? You not getting away with it. Now, if they wasn't asking you that, if they wasn't asking you that, then I would say, yeah, you getting away with it. But people start like, yo, who are you gonna fight, bro? Who are you gonna fight?
He has about 3 more fights where he can get away with this stuff. That's it. And then people are gonna actually get on his ass. I can see 3 or maybe 4 more fights.
I think he has 2 the most. Isaac Cruz, maybe a Rolly rematch, or that Dominican kid that they wanted him to change his name to. Who Mike is doing that, bro? If your mic is bugging out, please mute yourself. That kid that they told him to change his name to Muhammad Ali.
Rivera.
That guy. And I don't even know if he's gonna fight that guy. I'm kind of sick of the corny shit and the cocksucking ass motherfuckers bro, Floyd is not your prodigal father. You know, like I know a lot of these losers in life, they look up to him just because he got money and they broke his shit. That's really what it is. They don't know shit about boxing. They literally don't.
Through him.
All they know is Floyd got money and they broke his shit, so they look up to him for that. That's all it really. And I'm like, yo, what kind of fucking 7-layer loser you gotta be? You know how many people got money? If you're gonna look up the people that got money, look up to Elon Musk. You know,
Jules, the funny thing is, Floyd doesn't have money. I recently watched a Logan Paul's podcast on Flagrant 2 with Andrew Schultz. He said Floyd Mayweather doesn't have money. He owns me. I think he said something between $2 to $5 million dollars.
Literally, look at his next exhibition.
$2 to $5 million. That's something, and he's going around having these fights.
And tell me
how much money is he making?
One at a time.
Bro, I'm speaking. Like, you're gonna have your chance. Hold
on, Michael. Now go ahead, Sawab.
Yeah, what I was saying. So Logan Paul said that he owes me about between $2 to $5 million dollars. So, bro, imagine if he is owning this guy that much money, and how much other people he owns as well, with all these Bitcoin scams that he's doing, with all these NFT scams. He released 3 back-to-back NFTs. He left the first 2, and apparently he's launching 1 more to make money. So if somebody who has money, who has 100 million, do you see Elon Musk doing that shit? No. Do you see any other billionaires doing that? No. Do you see any other millionaires doing that? No. It's just Floyd. He doesn't have money. So him having money is no. He doesn't have money. He may have in millions, but his debt are the same. So technically, he is the same shit.
All right, shout out to D Styles. I see you. I'm gonna go to Michael. Michael, you know, I seen a video where Floyd was all excited. He was literally excited in the video that he was getting like $1 million to show up at a press conference. And I'm like, why would that make you excited, bro? That you getting $1 million? Like, why is that? Like, you made that and over that, haven't you? You know, because Canelo pay-per-view, Pacquiao pay-per-view. Do you feel that he's broke?
Yeah.
Look how quick he has another exhibition match lined up after the one he just had, which was like, how long ago was that? Like 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago?
Well, it was like 3-4 weeks ago, bro. It wasn't that long ago.
Jules, what did he say?
He's broke. He's literally broke. We don't even have to like debate about this. Like I see it.
Well, what did he say he got in sponsorship? Remember for the Logan Paul fight, he's like, I made $20 million in sponsors.
And I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Like, bro, I don't believe that. You moving like a dude that owes somebody exhibition match after exit, and these cocksucking motherfuckers, when I say that, they get mad that they're like, he not broke, he like, yo, get his dick out there.
Money man.
Money man. What is the matter with you? It's a kid on Twitter.
You're touching their emotions there, Jules. That's why.
And I'm gonna need to say it. Floyd is not your fucking father. He is not related to you. He is not going to give you no money for defending him on Twitter. You're not going to get nothing out of that. You look fucking retarded defending him so vigorously because people think he's broke. It ain't start with me. 50 said that shit. He the one that said that shit. Logan Paul is saying that shit. You think everybody wrong, but you right? Willie Lynch says, here's the thing though, Julius. When there's only one champion, people start to really pay attention to other guys. Why? Because when you raise the bar, people start comparing you to the top guy. Be that as it may, the only real reason that Floyd keeps advocating that, oh, there'd be less belts, that they're watering down the sport. Bro, you could only be shading Devin Haney when you say this. There's no two ways about it. And I wish that the people in the media would grow a backbone and ask, well, who are you talking about, fam? Because there's only one guy that has all the belts at lightweight. What you saying? He's watering down the sport. Are you accusing Devin Haney of watering down the sport? Because it ain't a bunch of guys with belts at 135. It's one guy. And you saying
they said the same. Yeah, they said the same thing about Josh Taylor. They said the same thing about Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor doesn't bring anything to the table when he was the fucking undisputed champion at the time.
And you notice he didn't say it before that Haney got the belts.
Thank you. Before that, it's strategy is what it is. You let Devin Haney do something that Gervonta Davis would never do. He would never go to Australia. He would never in his life do anything like that, even though a lot of other guys already have. Errol went to Sheffield. Terrence went to Scotland. All right? Devin went to Australia. Your bitch-ass fighter would never do that. Ever.
Never. Never.
Ever. And it's not like it started with them. Fighters been doing that, bro. Marvin Hagler traveled, all right? Ali traveled. Usyk done won every belt he ever won in another dude country. It's not, like, let's be real about the shit. Josh Taylor came to America for Undisputed, and you want to carve out a little bitch-ass lane for your little butterball fighter so he don't got to fight shit and collect no belts, because that's really what it's all. And I'm nauseated by the shit. That I'm like, y'all don't see what he doing? Who just became undisputed? Who just collected all the belts? Devin Haney. And when he does this shit and everybody's praising him like, yo, he's the man, yo, he fucking did it, da-da-da-da-da. Here you come with your bullshit. Oh, it's too many belts. Watering down. Then tell Gervonta Davis to drop the WBA. It's too many belts, right?
Real fighters go get what they are worth and what they want. It doesn't matter where it is. It doesn't matter the circumstances. They go wherever they got to go and they get it. And that's what those fighters of old did. And that's, Devin Haney went that same route. So it shows you that he's a real fighter, irregardless. He's a real fighter.
He won a bitch-ass lane. He won a bitch-ass lane full of bitch-ass cucks, like my man Sawab like to say. He won a bunch of bitch-ass cucks that praise him because he made money. Do I get any of that money? Because unless I'm getting any of that money, the fuck am I gonna praise you for doing that for? So fucking what? If I was gonna praise people that make money, I would praise Jay-Z before you, because he leveled up. 50 leveled up. You know what I mean? You still doing the same old goofy dancing bear shit. You fighting on helipads. You
dancing bear.
Julius, no, when it comes to the same thing,
that's funny.
There's another thing. 1 second, lads. There's another thing. Mainly, who he's saying is Bruce Wayne. You know that stupid cuck. He goes, you don't need to face anyone great because Floyd did that already. He already faced people great. But look what's happening to him. People still don't respect him and daddy, blah, blah, blah. Still that crime bullshit. So he goes, Tank should fight whoever he wants. He's still going to make money. He's following the money route. He's been saying that for ages. I don't follow him anymore, but what brings to mind is Bruce Wayne, because he's been saying this shit that I'm thinking to myself now. So if Tank Davis is not fighting the top people, why is he fighting then? And why is he not fighting the big people? He's not even making decent money. Well, fair enough. He is making decent money for the people he's fighting.
I got a better
but imagine what he would fight.
I got a better question for you, Sawab. This is even better than that, right? Why do Tank's fans want us to approve of him?
Exactly.
That's the better question.
Exactly. Why should we approve them?
If you see that Sawab has a pound for pound list, and he don't put Tank on it, right? And then you see that ESPN might have a pound for pound list, and they don't put Tank on it. Is it me and Sawab that's gonna be crying about it?
No.
Is it Eson? Is you gonna cry about it?
Fuck no, fuck Tank.
Is JBN gonna cry about it?
Me vale verga, bro. Me vale verga ese güey.
Eson is crying about Golovkin.
Jay, are you gonna cry if ESPN don't put Tank on their pound for pound list?
Fellas already cried about it, man. I'm sad right now.
Pull yourself together.
I'm devastated. God, I'm devastated.
You know the funny shit is,
It's gonna be okay, Jay.
Let me get to the crux of the shit. If they really believed half of the nonsense that they like to say on their channels or half of the nonsense that they say on social media, they would not seek validation from ESPN. They would not seek validation from Ring Magazine. They would not argue with me or Sawab about Tank if you really believed what you're saying. The reason you argue with me or the reason you get mad at an ESPN, the reason you get mad at a Ring Magazine when they don't include him is because you want validation. You want us to view him the way we view Devin or the way we view Usyk or the way we viewed Josh Taylor. You want us to look at him the way we look at them. And when we don't, you want to be a victim. You want, they wrong. Oh, media. Bro, you telling me that belts don't matter, right? No, belts don't matter to Tank. So when he don't get them, I don't see what the problem is. He don't want belts, right? He don't want to be undisputed, right? Right. So why the fuck would we include him in the pound for pound list? Who did he fight? You're not fighting good people. You're not unifying titles. You never unified at any weight you ever campaign. What makes you pound for pound? Why are people arguing? Why are people getting upset when ESPN don't include you or when Ring Magazine don't include you? I know why. I've always known why. You have an inferiority complex. You want the validation. You want them to look at him the way they looked at Loma. And when they don't, you feel like a victim. Why the fuck would they look at him the way they look at Loma when Loma was unified? You're not. You never have been.
Exactly, Julius. And how can they call him a three-weight world champion when all he has won is made? Even that by fraud as well at 130, like you said. Even he won that by fraud. So come on, how is he a three-weight world champion when he hasn't even won the major belt?
The funny shit is, did you see that thing I tagged you in when all the responses to what Kenny Keith tweeted is there a former professional athlete struggling to stay more relevant than Floyd?
Oh my God, facts.
Go through that thread, Jules. It's hilarious. It's everything you're talking about right now.
Any former athlete, let me tell you something. Any former athlete, especially from my era, if Patrick Ewing shows up somewhere, they gonna rock with him, bro. They gonna rock with him. If Larry Bird shows up somewhere, they gonna rock with him, bro. Crazy? Michael Jordan, Nate Robinson, all the old heads from way back when, all the old athletes. If George Foreman shows up somewhere, Mike Tyson shows up somewhere, right? Evander Holyfield shows up, they gonna rock with him. Floyd, you the only one that people don't fuck with, though. You gotta pay people to be around you, fam, because you a cornball. Just because you got money don't mean you stop being a cornball. You could be a cornball with money, fam, because you never had swag to begin with. Look how you dress.
Oh God!
I'm being real. Like, look how you. Why you always got cowgirl boots on, bro?
He called Mary J up. He get the 411 from Mary J. Jules.
Bro, you too little. I'm gonna say something that's gonna hurt people's feelings, but it's the truth. There's some clothes that is not for a little ass person, and you too little for them boots. If you was 6'1", maybe you could get away with it, because then it'll be like, but he kind of look like a superhero. But you too little for that shit, bro. You look odd with them boots. Like, he always got some kind of just weird ass boots. Like, bro, you too little for knee high boots, bro. It don't look right. You look
you look like a nanny when you with that Joshua.
Can I have something right quick?
Floyd's sense of fashion is pretty bad.
This whole conversation reminds me. So shout out to Lady Chan. I was on her weekly wrap up show earlier this week. We was discussing the topic of the Hall of Fame this past weekend came up. A lot of legends got in. Congrats to them. Terrence Crawford was there. He had his fist casted, right? And we were all. I think I could go out on a limb here and say that everybody on this panel believes that Earl Spence is not Hall of Fame, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So So we had a Spence fanboy jump.
Hell no, he's not a Hall of Famer.
But
Jay,
can I say this? I just want to say this. Let me say this. I said this already to a Spence fan on this channel. Ricky, I told you he's not Hall of Fame. I told you. Why was Crawford in Canastota? Spence wasn't.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, but let me bring you home right quick. All right, so we had a Spence fan jump on the live, right? And guess what he said?
Was it Ben Israel?
No. He came through too, but I don't want to discuss him. But it was somebody. It was somebody else. But like, I can't remember the guy's name. But he jumped on and said that like, oh, because Earl Spence is not in the Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame don't matter.
No, nothing matters. Nothing matters.
Spence not. It don't matter. So we all jumped on his case and was like, you know what? The only reason you're saying that shit is because Spence ain't in it. That's why if Spence was in the Hall of Fame. Oh, it would matter. I mean, but he's just mad because Bud got his fist cast in. He's gonna be in future legend.
I'm saying this for Ricky. Ricky, if you listening, you remember 2 months ago when I told you that your man Spence not gonna get in the Hall? You see how it's starting to fall together? I told you Terrence is a 3-division champion. I told you Terrence beat 4 champions and took their belts from them. I told you that. I told you that Terrence has been a Ring Magazine and lineal champion at 2 weight classes, whereas Errol, 5 fucking years after fighting Kell Brook, he still ain't touched a Ring Magazine title.
All he's done is unified.
Undisputed as well.
Don't
forget that. Yep.
He's only unified. Why would he be in the Hall of Fame for that?
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Listen, I told Ricky, and I know he still comments on my videos, so I know he's going to see this. I told Ricky, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, and Kell Brook is not a Hall of Fame resume. Like you don't want to understand that them names, you're not getting in the Hall for that shit. Whereas Terrence could get in the Hall, not necessarily because of names, but because he's a 3-division, 2-time lineal, 2-time Ring Magazine, former undisputed champion. Yep. That's enough.
I saw a fanboy that had
There was a guy,
Spence at number 1.
There was one of these clowns on the spaces. I don't know I think it was AJ or Isan was there. Trying to make Spence look like a Hall of Famer. They're saying, well, Danny Garcia's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah.
Danny Garcia was a Hall of Famer.
I wanted to end that.
But I could listen. I cooked them though. Like I have that space and it's recorded. I cooked them. I was gonna upload it. I just gotta go back and find it. The boxing mierda space, mierda es space, not space. Mierda es space. And I recorded that. I recorded that, and I asked him, who did Danny beat? And you see how he got quiet. Who did Danny beat, bro? Who? If you gonna say, if this is what they like to do to Terrence,
what he say? That's it.
This is what they like to do to Terrence. They'll take away that he's a 3-division champion to just talk about welterweight. Okay, let's apply that to Danny, right? Because that's what you're doing to Terrence. You're gonna ignore that he was Ring Magazine and lineal at 2 weights below welterweight. Forget all that, right? Because you just want to talk about welterweight resumes. Okay, let's do that to Danny. Who the fuck did he beat at welterweight then? We know who Crawford beat. Crawford beat the man that made Manny look like an old ass slow man. He beat Jeff Horn. He did it easy. Who did Danny beat?
Hey, Julius, can I do
Remember
it?
in that same space, Jules, they said he beat Bud in the amateurs.
And Bud beat him in the amateurs. Bud beat him in the amateurs.
Why do some dumbasses call Crawford a weight bully at 140 when he moved up from 135?
Because they listen. I'm gonna tell. Look. Nobody say nothing. I'm just gonna be real, Michael. Look,
I don't get it.
A lot of these dudes want to suck Errol's dick, bro.
I know.
No, I gotta keep it real. Like when you.
No. You don't have to tell me that. I know.
I'm telling you, these dudes down there in Texas, bro. I'm telling you, like it's
Yeah.
No, better. No, not you, JBN. Not you, JBN. Yo estoy diciendo que esos tipos que están allá, que son de ahí. Don't you notice whenever you having an argument with a Spence fan on Twitter, just go to their Twitter. What does it say? Texas. How about them Cowboys?
Forget about Twitter. Yeah, the people who tweet will never dare to say it out their mouth. There is a clown who normally joins. There's a clown who normally joins Lady Chan's. His name AJ knows. Ben Israel or something. He said, look at this fucking cuck here. He said Errol Spence is the pound for pound number one. He can go to any weight division, and dominate.
Heavyweight included,
including heavyweight. He can beat Usyk as well.
What is he, retarded?
He can beat Anthony Joshua. He can beat anyone.
Is he serious?
So
No,
if he doesn't want Errol
not
Spence
joking.
dick in his mouth, what else does he want?
His name is Ben Israel?
Ben Israel. That's the guy. That's him.
He cannot be serious.
I mean,
listen, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all one more. I'm too old to talk to people with mental disabilities. I would I look like talking to somebody that, like, why would I, like, look, man, I'm telling you right now, the infatuation that they have with Errol, and I'm going to say it, it ain't got nothing to do with boxing, fam. Y'all want him to fuck y'all. That's what that shit is. They want to get fucked by the truth.
I mean, you see the likes to go. You see the likes to go and saying like Hall of Fame doesn't matter because Earl ain't in it, but he didn't get his fist casted. That's some crazy shit, man.
Do me a favor, check your DM, bro. Check your DM real quick. I sent you some funny shit.
I got you.
Drew, you
They
see
want,
it, Drew?
they want Errol Spence.
They want
Yo, Drew, you see that shit, Drew?
What was that?
Yo, Julius, did you edit that, or is that a real album that's gonna come out? Like,
That's real.
Dying,
what
bro.
the fuck?
That's real.
Oh man,
I didn't make that shit, man.
Him and his brother actually are putting out a song, dude. That's real. I want to hear it.
The dude is
Listen.
unhinged, bro.
No, I heard it. Country, I heard it. And honestly, it's like, bro, can I say this? Look, can I say this? Let me say this. Nobody say nothing. A lot of these country, like, not you country, but a lot of these corn pone motherfuckers like Spence and Wilder, they cornballs, fam. I listened to that shit. I actually gave him a chance. Like, you know, maybe he got some shit. You know, I don't know. I'm like, yo, you a cornball. Like, bro, like, why are you doing this? You know what I mean?
What did he say in the song?
Jules,
It was auto tune.
Adrian.
He was like on some bum ass T-Pain shit. Like, blah, 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 I want to do it. I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
Wait, is it on Spotify? Is it on Spotify?
Bro, look it up on iTunes. Look it up on
it's on iTunes.
No, so was it better than Adrian Broner's track?
I'll tell you what. As far as tracks go, it was still better than Victor Ortiz mixtape and Danny Garcia. It was better than that. It was better than that.
They put out a mixtape.
Bruh, you never knew Victor Ortiz had a mixtape.
No.
But was it better than Broner? Was it better than Broner's cut?
I'm gonna tell you what, Broner can actually rap, and that's coming from the heart. Y'all know I don't like Broner, but he can actually rap. Like,
He
for
got
real.
bars. He got bars. He got bars.
Like, if he wasn't just a weirdo and all that, he legit has bars. Like that he could. You know, that out of all the guys that I heard trying to be on that music shit, he's actually okay. Believe it or not.
Hey, Ray just said that one's going triple plastic. That's funny.
Bro, that shit going triple condom rapper, bro. Fuck. That shit is gonna go triple condom rapper, bro. Fuck.
I mean, yeah, but fellas, like, what's the? I mean, just going back to the Spence Crawford thing. Like, what's one thing that Crawford's critics always like to say? Oh, he hasn't fought anybody. I've said this several times now, right? And it's like, and you could like swap resumes. Let's just say Earl beat the same people that Crawford beat, right? And he, you know, this 3 division champion, all the kind of stuff. They always fans wouldn't be saying that. They always got the best resume in the sport.
Well, let me read this super chat. If Spence can beat Fury, let's see it then. So sick of these people. Don't you dare tell me someone could beat a heavyweight if they won't prove it. Chris Bird did it. Don't BS me. Listen, bro. If you hearing grown men saying things like Spence could go up to heavyweight and beat everybody, you know why they saying that? Because they want to get beat by him, bro, in their ass cheeks.
They want to get dominated,
bro. I'm not kidding. They
put up the cup word.
Let me put it up. Sawab is here. Sawab is here. Let's put it up. Let's put it up.
Julius, they want the whole broke back mountain experience, bro. That's what they
get
want.
bended over and all that. Man down.
They want
I'm dead serious. Like I know it's funny, but it's true. Like, yo, these dudes talk about Spence because the real shit for them, they want to get fucked by that dude, bro.
And they want yellow.
Hey, Julius, listen. We are so wrong. Listen, maybe in boxing, Errol Spence hasn't put any man down, when it comes to daily, he puts 1-2 men down every day, bro. So
Listen,
Every
bro.
day.
Listen, bro.
every day.
What I see is an infatuation, right? An infatuation that defies logic. That, bro, you really, really like him, and you like him to the point to where the things you're saying don't even make sense. Okay, then we're not talking about boxing no more. You just want to spread your ass cheeks for that dude. That's what the fuck that shit is. Because we're not talking about boxing no more. You saying that the Hall of Fame don't matter? How could the Hall of Fame not matter? Like,
Dude, but they deny it. They deny it. Goes, no, bro, don't come with that gay shit. Don't come with that gay talk. Don't come with this. I literally told him, I was like, bro, you're saying this. You're the biggest fucking cuck. You just wanna, you wanna be the next man down. I literally said it to him.
Yo,
No, don't
he
say
said
that.
you
Don't
want to
come
be
with
the
that
next
gay
man
shit.
You
They
told
like,
him this,
bro,
Wall?
it's all right.
because
Huh?
the shit. Because listen, think about what they're saying. How could you say that being in the Hall of Fame in the sport of boxing, Floyd just cried, right? For perspective, Floyd, that only cares about money for the most part, when he was finally inducted into the Hall, he broke down in tears. Tears. But you telling me that the Hall don't matter because Spence bitch ass not in the Hall. Bro, it's yo, I ain't gonna say it because I don't want to get in trouble, but a lot of these cats is fucking fruity, fam. Like, y'all
Hey,
fruity.
when he could be elite in the way he loses, it doesn't matter.
You heard that dumbass shit? That dumbass shit.
Oh
yo,
my
Suave,
god! I've never
Suave
seen
really
it.
said that they
what
want to
Bud
be the
said
next man down. That shit is funny.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bud
that's
said Bud said
hilarious.
it'll be a
What the fuck
suicide
it
watch.
is.
man down promotions, man.
That's exactly what the shit is. They want Spence to get him down.
That's it.
Julius, can I say something?
Go ahead, Leo.
Look, I was watching Joe Rogan podcast clip. Was about this UFC fighter that recently become champion, and Joe Rogan asked him, "Who are you want to defend your belt?" And the guy was like, oh, "Who could? What will be a good opponent would be? Because man, I would just want to defend my belt. I would just stay a champion." And Joe Rogan was laughing. That's so honest. He said, "Yeah, why you all these guys talking about? Oh, I want to fight the best. No, dude, I just want to defend my belt, make my money." And let's face it, some of these guys, I'm not going to see all of these guys, so the majority, but some
That's
of these
true.
guys are going pro to hopefully become a champion and make money.
That's
And
it.
that's it. And that's it.
That's it.
If you're looking for greatness, watch how the
But see,
fighters move.
Leo, this is the thing. This is the thing. If you telling me that Tank and his whole aspiration, nobody say nothing. If you telling me that Tank's whole aspiration is simply to become a draw, right? He just wants to sell tickets. He just wants to sell pay-per-views. He doesn't want belts. He doesn't want Undisputed. He doesn't care about the pound for none of it, right? All right, then why is his fans so butthurt when ESPN
Yo, your
don't
mic,
put him
your
on?
mic, your mic.
Who mic
Jules,
is
your
that?
mic. Just fix it. Oh, I don't know whose mic that is. I
I
thought it
don't
was
know.
yours.
No, that's not mine.
Someone's transforming.
If the whole thing with Tank is simply becoming an attraction and selling pay-per-views, why is his fans so butthurt that ESPN don't put him on a pound for pound? You don't care about that, right? And you don't care about Undisputed, right? And I know what it is. It's an inferiority complex. You see, look. Inoue just did his thing, right? Inoue is a legitimate, bona fide 3-division champion. And who they giving hate to right now? Inoue. As soon as they see that like Country or a Isan or a Michael or a Sawab is like, yo, that Inoue cat, he's the real deal. They get upset because they want you to say that about Tank. And when you saying that about somebody else off top, they start, oh, he another hype job. It's the same shit on repeat. The same shit they did to Golovkin is the same shit they did to fucking Manny is the same shit they doing now with motherfucking Inoue. Because they want you to say that about Tank. They want you to look at him in that
Yeah,
filter.
they
Hey,
are
Jules.
dishonest people. Like, look, I like Golovkin. I still like Golovkin. But if you tell me Golovkin ain't shit, it's not great, I will say yes. It's shit. Golovkin is shit, and it's not chasing greatness. It's looking for a payday. I still like how he fights, and you can like Gervonta Davis. He gets knockouts. I get it, but if you're gonna tell me that this guy at the end is one of the best lightweights in the world? No.
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 Read the
Listen.
Esau, read the super chat. No, matter of fact, Michael, read the super chat, bro.
What's up?
I can't see it.
You can't
Yeah,
see
we
that
can't.
shit?
I
It's
think
read it
man,
to
it's
him,
man
man.
down,
Country,
bottoms
all right,
up.
nobody say nothing.
promotion.
Nobody say nothing. Country,
Oh, I
read
see
the
it.
super chat.
I see it.
It's man down, bottoms up promotions. But
Oh yeah.
Let me add to I think Leo's
And
point.
down
Yeah. So
booty up
basically,
promotions.
yeah. One second. I just want to add to that point. Listen, all of us. I think just like Jules
What?
was saying, every single person on this who's talking, every single person on this panel, yeah, we can appreciate greatness when we see it. Yeah. Like for example, with Inoue, with Usyk, with I think anyone, with Joshua, even with Tyson to a certain position. Yeah, we can see it. They're great. Even the good fighters like Terence Crawford, they're good fighters. We can see it. We have high standards. But these cucks, they're the only people we can. Our standards are like, you know what I mean, 10 out of 10s. They know they can only go for like the 2 out of 10s, and that's why they like them so much. When you can't get something big, then you're like, oh, it's fine, man, it's fine. We will deal
let
with
me get
these lot.
psychological, Suab. Let me get psychological because I feel like I've been trying to do that, but I haven't put it in the right words yet. That because they identify with a particular fighter who they feel is from their walk of life, they've lived vicariously through that fighter, right? So when they see that
Exactly.
that fighter ain't shit, the way they ain't shit, they get mad. When they see that that fighter kind of is like when they see that, oh, we praising Inoue, or we're praising Crawford because they criticize Crawford for us praising him. Now, he's a 3-division, 2-time lineal, 2-time Ring Magazine, undisputed champion, right? When they see that and they see that, oh, well, Tank don't get that love and Tank don't get that praise, they booty hole clench. They start to get sad. They're like, why they can't love Tank? Because what they really saying is, why they can't love me like that? That's what the shit is. It's some bitch ass shit like that. The only reason they fuck.
I'll make it easier for them to understand. Like me, you, Julius, and everyone on the panel, we have driven, say, the fastest cars, yeah? We've driven a Lambo, we've driven the Ferraris. I personally have driven a Lambo, C63. I've driven all the nice fast cars.
So
now when I get into shit, yeah, if I get into a fucking Honda now that you love so much, that has been with you your whole life, you can't compare it with a fucking Lamborghini now. I can't just say, yeah, it's as great as the Lamborghini that's worth so much money. That's what literally they want.
It's not hard to me. It's simple. They always bring up that Tank sells pay-per-views, which he does. You know, he has sold more pay-per-views than Devin Haney. It's the truth, and he is a bigger draw in America than Devin Haney. That's the truth. But if that's what it's all about, if it's just about making money, and it's not about getting belts, it's not about becoming undisputed, it's not about pound for pound. Why are you arguing then? Why? According to your God, he's your God, your false idol, Floyd Mayweather. Belts don't matter, right? So do your thing, bro. You don't need to worry about a pound for pound list. When you hear other people talking about a pound for pound list, you don't have a seat at that table. You're not a part of that conversation. Neither is Tank. What? He don't care about that. You haven't processed that yet. Pound for pound is not for him.
And Jules, what money are they making? Is 1 million, 2 million money? Fucking Jaime Munguia got that fight in Kelly.
Listen, Canelo sells more than Tank, right? Here's how you know it's some bitch assness. Canelo sells more than Tank, and he gets the belts, and he sells more than Tank. Do they praise him? No, it's some bitch ass shit. It's he come from where I come from, or he look like me. Bitch ass shit. Literally, I feel like just coming out with the shit. I'm thinking like, look, bro, I don't care about where you're from. The whole planet does not give a shit about you or where you're from. That is not a good enough reason to praise somebody. Nobody cares. This is boxing. You have to do things a certain way to be thought of in a certain light. It's not different for a Japanese fighter, a UK fighter, a Russian fighter, or an American fighter. It's the same standard across the board for everyone. Now, Usyk meets that standard. Terence Crawford meets that standard. Now, Inoue meets that standard. Kazuto Ioka meets that standard. But if Tank doesn't, you just got to suck it the fuck up and move on, bro. Stop waiting for validation from me because you're not going to get it. Stop waiting for validation from ESPN because you're not going to get it. Whenever ESPN publishes a list, these guys lose their fucking mind when they don't see a Tank on it. Like, bro, why are you looking for validation from ESPN? I thought they was old media, but you still going to them for pound list. They old media, right? Make your own list. No, you too stupid and too inept. And more importantly, because this is really what it is, nobody listens to you. You can make a pound for pound list and put Tank on there 10 times. Nobody cares what you think. Nobody.
And there's another guy on that list is Mel Charlo, who meets that criteria, and they don't like him at all. I mean,
they don't. Thank you. Charlo meets that standard. He just became and look, motherfuckers can say what they want, but I've been bigging up Charlo, the little one, the one at 154, because he meets the standard.
I've been saying the last 3 years I've been saying there's only one Charlo.
There's only one Charlo. That's Jamel. There's only one. And
the
one you can respect, man.
And when you say that, right, it's like every argument, because I've been through this before I even got on YouTube and started uploading content, right? Had a Ring IQ on Facebook, about 60,000 members, and I weaned it down to about 49,000 because there were too many stupid people. Long story short, these arguments that we would have would always turn into a coddling session where you have to remind them of fighters that you give praise to, like Charlo, like Crawford, because they have an inferiority complex. You do have an inferiority complex when I have to remind you that, look, I think Floyd is a cornball outside the ring, but in the ring, he's the man. But that don't change that he's a cornball outside the ring. And you need to hear me lavish praise on a fighter you like so you can feel better because you're that big a cuck.
Julius.
That big a cuck.
Wait, look, this is embarrassing. At some point, it gets embarrassing. Like your favorite fighter cannot respond to unbiased media with a straight face.
No.
Do you think Gervonta Davis can go to Mike Tyson hot boxing?
No.
And not get fucking cooked like Gervonta Carlo?
No.
Do you think he can go
That'd be
there?
hilarious.
No. As soon as he goes there, well, you know what Mike is going to ask him, and you can't do the quote unquote old media thing with Mike. It won't fly. If Mike asks you, yo, are you going to fight Devin Haney? Are you going to fight Vasyl Lomachenko? I think he asked about that. He didn't ask Tank that because it wasn't on Hot Boxing. But I vaguely recall Mike asking, yo, when is Tank going to fight Vasyl Lomachenko? That's the fight I want to see. I remember he said that like 2 years ago.
Can you imagine?
Not the list, bro. Not the
Did he ask
list.
that to Mayweather?
Can you imagine a prime
He was
Mike?
doing like an interview with some shit, and he said it that he like, I should fight. I want to see. I remember that shit.
Can you imagine a prime Mike active right now talking shit to these boxers that are not fighting? It'd be hilarious.
Oh boy.
Big a bitch you got. Look, this is boxing, right? And what fight fans generally want to see are fights. So how big a cuck and a cocksucker do you have to be to advocate against fights? Because that's what they're doing. They're advocating against fights and creating narratives so that they can be against fights. They're against Gervonta Davis fighting Devin Haney. They're against that. They don't want Gervonta Davis to fight for all the belts. They literally don't. They don't care. Whatever they like about him has absolutely nothing to do with boxing. And you hear it, it's more than boxing. No, it's not. It's not more than, you know what it is more than boxing? It's because you a fucking fruit. You a fruit. And you like fruity shit. You could see him hugged up in a club with Adrian Broner, and they literally blowing kisses at each other. And you...
Yeah, that was a frightening picture of those two, man.
Julius, son of this
cock, bro.
I thought Jamal had back problems. Why is he in the club?
Julius,
getting fucked in his ass. That's why.
Man down.
Hey, man.
Man down.
Man down promotions.
What you want me to say? 32-year-old man pours peroxide in his hair. What am I supposed to think?
Man down, booty up promotions.
He's good as fuck.
Williams says people like Usyk, AJ, Crawford, Canelo, they have gained a following off their talent, off their accomplishments. The Wilder and Spence fanboys want respect simply for being, not for achieve. It's the truth, bro.
Boom.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
Like they try to turn it into any other conversation other than the conversation that it is, that there are fighters from all around the world that meet a certain standard. Whether you're talking about a Ukrainian fighter, an American fighter, a fucking Japanese fighter, there's fighters like this all around the world, right? They meet a certain standard, and you feel inferior that the fighters you identify with, they don't meet that standard. But here's the kicker. I don't identify with fucking Usyk. I'm not fucking Ukrainian. I'm not looking for a fucking father figure. Is that what you're doing? Do you look at Floyd and think of him as your father figure or your fucking mentor? Because he's not. Floyd don't give a fuck about you. Let me say that. I'll say it again. Floyd don't give a fuck about you. You fucking losers and your daddy issues.
You don't even know y'all exist.
Doesn't fucking care about you. This obsession with like I'm like, it feels like we're in 2013 or 2015 when the whole Flomo pack. That's what it feels like. Like, bro, Floyd don't care about you. Get that in your head. It's just boxing. That's all it is. It's boxing. But for you fucking losers, you see that dude and you think like that's your father or some weird shit. He's my hero, Floyd.
Yeah,
Like, what do you want to suck his dick?
They can't take it if you say even the wrong thing or think the wrong thing, man. They go off the deep end on you.
They're like, I gotta stay on code, but then Floyd's like, all lives matter.
It's
hilarious, Jules.
Now, you know what gets me? What gets me is if you let Floyd tell a story, he beat a prime Canelo Alvarez who was 23 years old. But at 23 years old, Gervonta is too young to fight Vasyl Lomachenko. Make it make sense. If you fought a prime Canelo, the way you say he was in his prime, right? He was only 23 when he fought you. He was 23 and he fought the number one pound for pound fighter in the world. So how was Tank? Because he ain't 23 no more. How was Tank too young to fight Loma? Scary ass shit. Bunch of scary ass fighters. PBC, most of PBC, not all, is scary ass fighters. They scared to cross the street. They scared to get on a plane. They scared to death to be boxers.
Jamal Charlo being one of them.
Scared to death. Scared to fuck. And before, like I said, because they try to make it any other conversation than the conversation it is. No, I'm not talking about this because everybody ain't like that. Devin ain't like that. Ain't no bitch in him. And I said it ain't no bitch in him. I said
Devin's got balls, man.
You got fucking balls.
Big
Shakur.
So don't try to go left field with the shit to where you try to make this a victimization of. Don't do that. No, it ain't that because I've been saying Devin got balls.
How old is that?
Don't.
He's 23, right?
23, my guy.
Okay, he has a record that it's gonna take a while for somebody to break. The youngest undisputed champion.
Yeah.
Who was going to break that at 21 or 20 or 22?
Teofimo Lopez, man.
The first thing that a lot of these guys would do, if they hear that we going off on Tank, right? First thing they're going to do is try to call Jesse. You ain't got to call Jesse, fam, right? Because Devin get props. You think, though, that everybody supposed to get – no, everybody not supposed to get props. Devin gets props.
Shakur does.
Props.
Shakur does as well.
Shakur gets props. Gervonta don't. And he not fucking going to. Till they stop being fucking scary and acting like a bunch of scary ass. Yo, you're not gonna get no props. Make your money while you can, because if I know anything, a dumb motherfucker like you gonna burn through it anyway. So make your money while you can.
In-house opponents only. In-house opponents only.
Bitch ass shit.
Corrales next. Hey,
yeah, I mean
Polo, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Why does Canelo get attacked? Why does Canelo get attacked for fighting a dude that Jamal wouldn't park his car next to? Jamal would not park his car next to Dimitri Bivol.
Hey, Julius, Julius, let alone if they offered him, hey, you want to fight Judo for the man spot? Oh, hell no. They would have been like, no.
But Jules,
man, they wouldn't even fight a contender.
I know we don't like to do that on this channel, but how much of it is because he's a ginger-looking white boy that just happens to be Mexican?
Look, let me say this. I'm gonna say this as simply as I can, right? I'm gonna say this as simply as I can. Losers identify with other losers. Weak people identify with other weak people.
Bro, remember Remember when they were trying to argue the saying that Charlo could beat Arthur Beterbiev like a year ago during the pandemic, and
But
nobody
he's
on that.
scared to death of Benavidez, though.
Oh my god, bro! Oh,
He'll
bro,
fight
you
Crawford though. He'll fight Crawford. I bet
He'll
you he
fight
will.
Crawford.
Hey,
Weak
Crawford
people,
said,
weak people. What did I just
bro,
say?
Crawford,
What did I just
I
say?
believe you too.
Weak people identify with weak shit. So
Bro,
you don't got
Crawford
no
said,
time for David. You don't got no time for David. You wouldn't dream of going to light heavyweight because you wouldn't dare fight David. But you'll fight Crawford? What are you going to win fighting him?
Crawford said, I believe you too. He's like, I believe you too. That's some shit he would do. Man,
That
can you
doesn't
imagine?
like you say he said he don't get nothing out of fighting David. Well, what the fuck are you gonna get fighting Crawford at 154? He don't got no belt there.
You might get your
I bet
ass
you
beat
some
being
shit
on weight training and shit. That's what you're gonna get.
Hey, bro, I bet you some shit like that will happen. Don't make it for an interim or some bullshit. They'll be like, hey, the interim title.
Bro, the WBC peroxide belt, bro, because he's 32 fucking years old. He's 32 years old, and I can't stress this enough. I'm not with the goofy shit, and I'm not with the weird shit. My guy, you're 32 years old, and you literally either you sitting in the sink pouring peroxide on your hair like a weirdo, or you go in a salon and getting it done. But either way, like I said, they like these fruity guys, bro.
Bro, and that
They
shit is making him go bald. He used to have more hair like 2
bro,
years
his
ago.
hairline, he getting that Count Chocula on
That
his
shit is making him lose his hair, bro.
Getting that Count Chocula.
Hey, Julius, when you were talking about the flow, what's hilarious, you would have actual fighters and spacers telling you how like shitty of a promoter he is, complaining about him, and the same people be like, no, what are you talking about? Don't disrespect him. I'm like, bro, he was actually in his gym next to the dude. He told you how he is, and I'll be like, no, don't, how dare you say something bad about him?
Yeah, like listen, Polo, they
Like,
act
bro.
like I'm gonna say this, right? Because it's like I'm trying to find the right words for it. That like Floyd is not a deity. Floyd is not a god, all right? Just because he made a lot of money, that doesn't mean that you got to look up to him just because he made a lot of money. A lot of people made a lot of money. At the end of the day, these kids act like if Floyd told them, yo, suck my dick, they'll do it. That's how they act.
They'll do it with
They'll fucking do it.
They'll say,
fucking weirdos, bro.
Julius, please read Sawab because someone needs.
Good night, Jules. Do more lives for your UK people. Big up all the cucks. I need to sleep and make money today because these boxers don't know I exist. Thank you. Because at the end of the day, there's 10 people on this panel, right? And every single one of them is a boxing fan. So we want to see boxing matches. Simple as.
Hey, Jules, did you hear about the Inoue getting his house getting robbed the night he knocked out?
Yeah, I heard about that shit. That's
it
is what it is.
Oh,
shit,
do they have any suspects?
Houses get broken into every day, B. Houses get broken into every day. It is what it is. All I'm saying
motherfuckers get robbed every day, B.
What I'm saying is Gervonta, and Leonard made this clear at least 3 years ago, that his goal is to make Gervonta a star, not that he's the best fighter in the world, not A, B, C, and D. His whole thing was making Gervonta an attraction. So if that's the whole mission statement, why are you worried about pound for pound? Why are you even talking about belts? Your bitch ass fighter ain't gonna fight for them belts. So why are you talking about it? Stop worrying. Like they make it seem, in other words, as if other people are worrying about them. No, you're worrying about other people. Your fighter doesn't fight for Undisputed, right? Right. So what the fuck you worried about belts for? Your fighter don't fight for that. At what fucking weight did he fight? At what fucking weight did he ever unify? None.
And they really don't make any sense because, okay, if money motivates you, well, the money's there. If numbers motivate you, the numbers are there. So if you're not doing it for legacy, you're doing it for the money, that's your biggest payday right there.
But more
Haney,
importantly,
Lomachenko.
you know what's backwards? All the guys in this sport, this beloved sport that has entertained me for so many years, all the guys that make great money, they was legacy fighters. They wasn't bitch-ass fighters like Gervonta. They was legacy fighters. Yeah. Who we talking about? Leonard, Duran, Chavez, Oscar, Felix, Roy,
Canelo.
Mike, Canelo, even Floyd. Like, look, for all,
even GGG.
Listen, for as big a bitch as Floyd is outside the ring, in the ring, yeah, he fought people. You just turned around and became a bitch when you became a promoter, because your career is not like your fighter's career. Your fighter's career is a joke. Like your career is all right. Your fighter's career is a fucking joke. And you get mad when ESPN don't coddle him and cry victim. Leonard Ellaby always flying false flags on Twitter. The media, bro, unless you gonna fight people, you never gonna get that credit, bro. Period. You never gonna get it. Play the violin. Cry victimhood if it makes you feel better. All I know is until that fat butterball start fighting people, he never gonna get credit.
Booger Ray Leonard. You talking about him? Booger Ray Leonard.
Booger Ray Leonard.
Giselle Corrales is next, man. Put that shit on pay-per-view, $79.99. Corrales was a former world champion.
The funny shit is they act like we're asking something of Gervonta that we're not asking of other fighters. You see what I mean? They're acting like we're setting the bar too high for Gervonta when no, we're not. We expect of Gervonta what we expect of Inoue, what we expected of Devin, which he delivered. I said my man was going to go. He going to go and he going to get them belts. And that's what he did. If your bitch ass butterball don't want to do that, don't expect me to like him. It's simple as. Your butterball don't want to do that. Who you gonna fight next? Isaac Cruz again? Who you gonna fight? And you want me to be high on him for that? Why?
He's gonna fight Giselle Corrales. I told you, man. They're gonna mark it as a former world champion. The only loss he really had was against that Machado, and they're gonna say, "Oh, he was a former world champion."
It's too much silliness. It's too much and the other thing I'm gonna say is this, right? It's only in American boxing this is going on. You don't see this in the Australian boxing scene. You don't see this in the Japanese boxing scene. You don't see this in the UK boxing scene. Literally, you don't. Pay attention and you'll see that, no, this doesn't go on in those boxing scenes. This goofy shit about I'm not going to fight nobody, but you still got to like me. I'm not going to fight nobody, but you still got to buy my fight, or you evil, or you old media. That shit don't happen in the UK boxing scene. It only happens in the American boxing scene. Only in America does this corny ass shit happen. Does this corny ass shit go on? Like, how is he a superstar fan? How? He not fighting shit. And until I said it before, you still haven't cracked 300,000 pay-per-view buys, and you've been on pay-per-view 4 times. It's not going to happen until you fight somebody. I'm telling you this.
Look at Ellerby's comments about Mario Barrios, man. Or what's his name? Or about Barrios. I don't know if it's Mario, but look at the comments. I mean, talking about, we already know who he is, blah, blah, blah. It's ridiculous.
We know who he is because he fought that hairline guy named Keith Thurman.
Listen. Mario, you turn around and say that a Josh Taylor, who's an undisputed champion, brings nothing to the table, right? But Mario Barrios did. But Isaac Cruz did.
They bring nothing to the table. Josh Taylor, Lomachenko, they bring nothing to the table. But Mario Barrios,
and Rolly Romero, don't forget Rolly. Rolly brought something to the table. Rolly brought something to the table that apparently Lomachenko could not, Devin could not, Josh Taylor could not. Nobody brings nothing to the table but Rolly.
Rolly brought that fur coat to the stare down.
This shit is ridiculous. And you know what that shit is code for, right? Here's what that shit really means. We are not going to pay them. That's what it means.
Yep.
Hey, the only thing Rolly brought to the table was his running his mouth, and he actually did that quite well at the end.
He did, which made it even more funny when he got knocked out.
Yeah,
Right.
he made me kind of want to watch the fight, even though I didn't. I was like, "Fuck this shit! I'm not watching this shit. I'm gonna go bust some nuts in my girl. I'm gonna listen to Julius and go bust some nuts outside of my girl. Fuck that.
Don't listen to me while you busting nuts, bro.
They all on Twitter.
Not like that.
Somebody edited that Rolly knockout with some like holy avowed church music. That shit was hilarious. Like in slow mo, like please don't go to sleep.
But let's also be real. The American boxing scene is full of morons because only in America could you sell a watered down fight like that. And anybody talks about it. Like, bro, he knocked out Rolly, not Loma, not Lopez, not Haney.
Not Taylor.
It's Rolly, bro. It's fucking Rolly.
How many amateur fights did Rolly have, and how many of them did he lose?
You know what I mean? Like, the dude comes from judo, fam. Not even boxing. He comes from judo.
Yo, Jules, fellas, y'all want to hear something hilarious right quick? All right, y'all know the Haney Cambosos fight, right? All right, so I know somebody on YouTube. I ain't gonna name him. I'm gonna have some respect, but he knows his boxing. He's actually made good predictions. Guess who he thought won the fight?
Who?
He thought George won.
You got to tell me who this is.
You
got to tell me who this is. Who is this? Who thought George won? Who is this? Who is this?
Okay, all right. It was Tony's reviews.
Tony thought George won. Nah, I don't believe that shit. I
didn't either. But like dead ass. I mean, he picked George to win. I get it, and he was, he was in his feelings, stuff like that. But he's actually breaking down like why he thought like George landed the cleaner punches.
Well, I can't believe that
jab.
shit.
Like,
I can't believe that shit.
There's nobody in the world who thought George won that fight.
Hey, there'll be a rematch, and maybe he'll be right, but until the rematch happens, and see, because maybe he's talking about the rematch. He just, had a dream, and he thought the rematch.
It was a deception, bro. It was a deception.
Art of War.
Zoo, fam. Let me read the super chat. These fighters are not beyond. He said. Willie Lynch says these fighters are not beyond reproach. They haven't even retired yet. Talk to me about fighters being demigods when they hit 99-1, right? Like Sugar Ray Robinson. Gunner Forever says, IQ, any news on the venue for Canelo versus... I haven't heard where that shit gonna be, but I feel like it's gonna be at Raiders Stadium.
It's gonna be Vegas though, right?
That's where I think it's gonna be at, but that's just me though. I don't know where it's gonna be.
If it's at that Raiders Stadium, that thing is gonna be lit, bro. I'm gonna go to that fight. Gonna go to that.
Can we talk about that for a second? Like, these dudes that don't buy shit, that literally do not buy shit, want to poo-poo all over that fight, and I guarantee it, when the numbers come back, the only fight that will be bigger than that fight is Joshua versus Usyk too. Those are the two biggest fights in boxing right now for this year.
Not on that unknown app.
Bro, I think Triple G Canelo sells more than that, bro. Because of the inflation of the pay-per-view in America, bro. Because $20 plus $60, $80, like,
put it this way. We know that fucking fight between Joshua and Usyk, them Saudis got long money, fam. So it depends. Like, it's like I could see that Joshua versus Usyk fight generating more revenue and bringing more eyes than Canelo versus Golovkin 3. And that's the only fight. They neck to neck. Other than that, there's no other fight that's bigger than those fights.
And the same people that were trying to shit on this fight were happy as hell where you got fucking Spence, the Pirate, versus a Pacquiao coming off a 2-8 layoff. They was saying it was a Pacquiao that beat Cotto and De La Hoya. They were like, oh shit, the biggest fight in boxing.
Right?
Pacquiao, the legend. They were acting
Jules, there's a good comment from Alonzo Amazing about Tank and Haney.
But not Tank versus let me see. Isn't it funny? Tank is protected for ducking and not facing certain fighters, but now that Haney is undisputed, now all the casuals all of a sudden want to see Tank versus Haney, but not Tank versus a top lightweight. Well, I'm gonna put it to you this way, and I said it at the top of the show. The reason that Floyd keeps saying that it's too many belts and they're watering down boxing is so that he can prepare Tank supporters when he don't fight Devin, when he fight Isaac again, or as Polo was saying, Jezreel Corrales. Because if I don't know nothing else,
Rivera, man.
If I don't know nothing else, I know Tank is not gonna fight for no. He never gonna be an undisputed champion. Never. It's never gonna happen, bro. Ever.
Maybe
how long they been saying wait and see? What they did that with Loma. They did that with Loma. He gonna fight him next year. Watch. He gonna fight him next year. Watch. Until Loma lost the goddamn belts, and then T.O. got him, and then George. It's the same shit on repeat. That fat butterball is never gonna be no undisputed champion.
They didn't even want to fight Theo, man.
Right? I'll be surprised if he wins a major title again in his career. I would be surprised because the only way I could even see him getting a belt, who he gonna fight? Who he gonna
It's gonna
fight?
be vacant. It'll be vacant. It'll be like when Devin moves up. Devin will move up and he'll fight for one of vacant titles.
Yeah, he got the IBF.
Or the vacant WBA belt. Vacant WBA
That's
belt.
the only way. He not gonna fight. He not gonna fight nobody for no belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ain't fighting Michelle Rivera, bro. I'm gonna guarantee you right now. And Isaac Cruz is fighting in August. It's gonna be Corrales. It's gonna be someone random. He ain't fighting Michelle Rivera, bro. Why?
He not gonna fight shit. And like the point that I keep coming back to is, if you think that it's so awesome that he could sell 200,000 pay-per-views or that he could get 18,000 people to the Barclays Center, if that's enough for you, then stay in your retarded ass lane. Because when we talking about pound for pound, we not talking about Gervonta Davis.
We're talking about guys that fighting for real belts and fighting guys that are
good matches. Yeah, good matches. We want good matches.
We're talking about real fighters, not WWE fighters.
Bro,
yeah,
I got
it's like a Ringling
you know
Brothers circus act.
Yo.
It's a circus act.
Fuck around. He might fight Abner Morris. Fuck around. He might fight Abner Morris.
That's not. They not beneath that. They not beneath that. They'll pull him out of retirement. They'll take him out of the commentator chair, lace the gloves up on him, and make that fucking ridiculous ass fight.
I know that's
on pay-per-view. On pay-per-view, no less.
Hey, Jules.
Yeah.
Speaking of good matches, bro, I'm going against the grain, man. I'm going to pick Smith against Beterbiev, even though I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, look. If somebody tell me they got Smith, it's not that it's a 50-50 fight. It's not, but it's more like Smith gonna do what the other guys didn't do, which is what he needs to do. Take the fight to Artur, because getting on the back foot, you won't win. You won't. So the best thing you can do is bite down on your gum shield and go for it. Go for it. Go take it.
Hopefully you can take what Artur's going to give you.
I feel like he's gonna do that, man. I feel like he knows what to do.
And that's why I say it's possible. Like, the logical choice is Artur, but if you know anything about Joe Smith Jr., he's a live underdog. Yes, he's an underdog, but he's a live underdog. Yep. Like, he's beat the odds 4 times.
Many times. Yo, but I got a feeling Beterbiev is about to do him bad. Like, I think Beterbiev.
That's my prediction. My prediction is Beterbiev, and he gonna do him bad because I feel like Joe telegraphs his punches too much. But like I said, if somebody tells me they're gonna go with Joe, I get it. I'm not going with Joe on that one. I'm going with Artur. But I understand there's a way. I could see a way there's a way that Joe could win. It's tough. But there's a way.
Do you see Joe as a boxer puncher or as a pressure fighter? Joe's a boxer puncher.
No, he's a pressure fighter.
So it's 2 pressure fighters versus 2 pressure fighters?
No, y'all need to go to bed, man. Why are y'all still awake? It's like midnight.
Joe ain't no boxer puncher. That's for damn sure.
Okay.
Joe is a pressure guy because he's trying to crowd you. Like, when he throws his jab, he gonna step into it and bring over a big right, and he's just gonna keep doing that. A boxer puncher is more like Joshua Buatsi. That he gonna jab, look to set it up, jab, look to set it up, jab. Like, that's a boxer puncher. Yeah. Joe's trying to maul you. Like, if you watch him when he doing his thing, he trying to maul you. That's not really. That's not really what a Buatsi or a Callum Smith. That's not what they do. Those are boxer punches. Joe is a pressure guy, and so is Artur. He's just a better pressure guy.
I think Smith is going to be better than Voshnik. I think Smith is a little bit tougher.
I don't know.
No,
I don't think he's better than Vosdick. I think he hits harder than Vosdick, but I don't think he's better than Vosdick. I don't think that.
I'll be honest though.
If it would have been Vosdick and Smith in 2018, bro,
it would have been Bivol 2.0.
Yeah, like, bro.
It literally
better.
Just like the Bivol fight, except Joe might have. No, Joe actually might have gotten stopped in that fight. Actually, Vostick had a good straight right.
It's better for
Vostick
boxing,
had a good
though.
straight right. Don't.
It's better
forget.
for boxing if Joe wins, though.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, in terms of we'll get Undisputed if Joe wins for fast.
No, it doesn't.
Undisputed, bro.
Listen. If Joe wins that fight, nobody want to see Bivol versus Smith too, bro. I don't.
We saw it already,
Only
and it
for
was
the belts.
decisive.
Do
Literally,
it.
only for the
It was
belts. That
decisive.
was
I mean, what is
literally
Joe going to do
It'll
differently
be
in
for
the rematch?
it'll be
No,
for
hear me
undisputed.
hear me out. Nobody wants to see it, but we'll get Undisputed, and then Esau can go run through Twitter crying and saying Canelo's gonna go fight Bivol for Undisputed and lose again.
No,
Nah,
I would rather see Joe Smith versus Bivol 2 than Canelo versus Bivol 2.
nah, I'm gonna keep it a beam, bro. If
If you
Smith,
tell me it's for 4 belts, yeah.
nah, if Smith wins that fight, I don't even know if Bivol gonna want to fight him again. Like, bro, I beat you already.
Nah, he would.
No, Bivol wants
That's an easy
undisputed,
W.
and he
Hell
beat
yeah,
him
he would
already.
want.
He'll
That's an
be
Yeah,
easy
he
W.
would. He wants the belt, man.
That's an
He'll
easy
be
W.
confident. He wants
That's the
undisputed.
easiest
Yeah.
undisputed fight
Well, I
ever.
know I don't want to see that. Like, I'm gonna be. I
I don't want
want
to see it though.
I want Artur to win, so I get Bivol versus Better Beef.
Yo,
I
as
ain't
soon
like
as
that's what I
soon as
want to
Spence
see.
Crawford happens, that is the best fight to make. In
Yeah,
boxing.
but
Yeah, it is.
are we gonna get Spence and Crawford, bro? Like it's
I
been
don't
But I'm
think we
weeks.
saying,
are.
no, but I'm
All
saying,
right,
How long ago do we have
But
that
Ju-
weight gap
that's a
in
better
Jules,
fight.
Better,
Totally
you know what?
better
are
fight.
they gonna
Julius,
send
better fight.
Arthur over to the zone?
Charlo Crawford would be the better fight.
No, they don't need to.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking realistically. Are they gonna send Arthur over there to the zone for
I mean,
Bivol?
They don't need to.
no, look, legitimately, that's a legitimate concern because right now Bob is not receptive to that fight until next year. He's not receptive to it. His plan is to put the winner of that fight in there with Anthony Yard. He doesn't care about the undisputed shit. Only we care about that. You see what I mean? Only the fans. Bob don't give a fuck about that shit. So long as Bivol is a matchroom guy, he doesn't care about that shit.
Hey, 2 more
But you
fights.
really gotta ask, who's going to end up crossing the street? Is it going to be Bivol or is it going to be Artur?
It's gonna have to be Bivol. I mean,
Bivol.
he's the
not-
one that's only obligated to match him for his next. I think his next. No, either his next fight or the Canelo rematch or both. But it's
But
definitely the
you
rematch.
think the zone's
Julius,
not
do
gonna
you
want
know
to let
anything
him
about that
leave?
Zerto
And like
Bivol?
Jules said,
Yeah, they will. I mean, they don't. They don't have no contract on him.
But like Jules schooled Alexis, Bivol is the A side in that situation.
Yep.
Even if he is,
There's no universe where Better Beef is more relevant and could command the negotiating power over.
But that doesn't
Bivol.
mean that they won't hardball, though. That doesn't mean they won't hardball. Look, Bob would rather Artur lose those belts to another top-ranked fighter than lose them to a guy that's over there at Matchroom.
Jules, do you think he'd send him over there if it was Zerto instead?
I'll put it to you another way. Way back when Devin Haney was Vasyl Lomachenko's mandatory challenger for that brief period, right? I felt Loma would have beat him then, right? And I felt Loma would have beat him right then and there. But in spite of that, Bob didn't do the fight. I think I wanted Bob to do the fight. So look, let's just get the narrative. I don't want to see these arguments going on for months and months. Oh, Loma's ducking this. And I honestly felt, look, if they do that fight, Loma will beat him right now. He needs a couple of years more experience before he's ready for a fight like that. Because in 2018, 2019, I didn't think Devin was ready for that fight. And even now, I'm kind of like, is he ready for that fight? Because you ain't fought nobody like this. I don't want to hear shit from the fanboys. You have not fought nobody like this.
Yeah.
This is not George Kambosos.
He'll probably come out the gate good for a while, but then eventually, I think Loma will get to him.
Well, it's more like what you can get. It's the same thing I said about George and Tio, and what I said about Devin and George. George, you can get away with doing what you did because Tio's making mistakes. In turn, Devin can get away with beating you with just a jab. What, you think he's going to disarm Vasyl Lomachenko with just a jab? You're not a power puncher like Teofimo to where Vasyl has to worry about getting knocked out.
Yes,
I do not see how Haney wins that fight. I really don't. I respect Devin. I'm not gonna underrate him no more like I did with George. But bro, like this is a whole different level right here.
Yeah, that's right.
And this is a style where it's like, bro, you ain't gonna just jab low. Like, come on, bro. You're not gonna tell me you're gonna jab, half step back, one right hand. No, that's gonna be an intense fight.
And you talk to these fucking retards. Like, I'm like, yo, I don't. That's why I don't talk to everybody, because I'm like, yo, you too fucking stupid to talk to. You know what I mean? Like, you think a jab and a half step, that's it. Because that's what he did to George. He jab him, then take a half step back when George tried to come forward, jab him, right hand, half step. That's all he did. Watch the fight. And the occasional shift or pivot, the occasional one, that's the whole fight. You think that's all he gonna need for Vasil? Really? I guarantee you that it'll be harder for Devin to get off that jab because Vasil Lomachenko is here with his jab. His jab is coming over the top of yours. It's a different fight. Does Devin win?
I think once that happens, where Devin can't really land that jab and he starts getting touched up with those straight lefts. Oof.
And not only that, the angles that Loma works.
And the
like
foot speed.
I've seen Loma do a thing where he'll feint the jab and put a shot right in the motherfucking chest. Like he'll get to the side.
That shit hurts, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like if you watch his fights, I think it was the Linares fight. He got to the side of Linares' jab, which is an orthodox jab. He got to the side of it, feinted this shit, and punched him right in his fucking chest. That's a difference.
That shit hurts, bro.
Bruh. And it's just like Good Guy said, it's the angles, bro. Devin got a good orthodox jab. You dealing with a southpaw that got feet, fam. He gonna get on the side of that, and if he don't come over the top with his jab like a cross, because it would be a cross, if he don't do that, he'll feint it, punch you right in your fucking chest, and then bring over the left. Turn it into a hook.
That fight is gonna look like Luke Campbell, but less physical because Luke was wrestling with Loma a lot.
Well, don't forget that Luke was able to. Luke is a southpaw, and people always they don't pay attention to that. It's the angles, bro. The opportunities that you have to land certain punches, the stance is going to affect that. So Luke had a little bit of success and was able to make things difficult for two reasons. One, he's very tall, and two, he's a southpaw, and he keep you out. So you're not able to get to the side of his jab because he turning with you. You mirroring each other. He turning with you. But the orthodox fighter, yeah, it's different. You can get to the side of their shit because they jabbing with that hand. When they jab and you move right to your right of your lead hand, they jab gonna be over there. And you come over the top, or you can hit them in the belly, or you could punch them in the chest. It's a lot of little different shit. And I seen them do it. That's how I know. That Haney versus Loma, that's a different fight, bro, than George. Yeah. Way different.
Wait, Julius.
Now I have a question for you, Jules.
Reluctant. Hold on, Drew. You're reluctant, Julius. I can see it. What do you think Devin has to do in that fight to win it, though, versus Loma? Because I know you're not writing him off completely.
It's but like I don't know if he can do it because he doesn't hit hard. He has no power.
Yeah, he literally has. You know, even Shakur said, I like sparring with Loma because they'll sit down and hit you hard. But he said Devin just feels like pillows. I'm like, damn, bro.
I'm not kidding. Like we could look at the Lopez fight and analyze that whether you think it was the shoulder or you think it was the power, something made Loma hesitant to throw. Now, I've always said I think it was both. He knows I can't commit to my punches with Tio while he's fresh. One, because my shoulder's fucked up, and two, because he can counter them. And right now, at the beginning of the fight, he's fresh. He has the power to hurt me and stop me. Devin don't have that. Styles make fights. And like I say it all the time, but people don't listen. Styles make fights. This is what I'll tell you. Devin has the style to beat Tio. Tio did the right things in that moment to beat Loma. But Loma has the style to beat Devin. It's a circle.
The exact
just like
style,
Hopkins,
in my opinion.
Taylor,
the exact style.
Hopkins, Taylor, Havlik, all over again.
But Linares said Devin Haney has power like Loma.
He turned around a week later after he said that, and I remember because I laughed and I thought this is so fucked. He turned around a week later and said, "Nah, that kid don't got no power." Linares said that.
No, we have two. Now, Jules, I got to ask this question. We have this big fight Saturday and then Bam next week. Say Bam wins, and what's the ring pound for pound going to look like after Bam?
Beaten Sword doesn't get
Bam wins. No, I'm
saying
saying Bam winning, and let's say Archer wins.
Listen, if Artur, let me refresh everybody. If Artur wins this weekend, and I know a lot of people are not going to like this, if Artur wins this weekend, Bivol is out.
He has to be out.
He's out. He's
Yeah.
Bivol right now. I have Bivol at number 10, and I said this already, but let me remind you: Dimitri Bivol's most high-profile win is a win over Canelo Alvarez. Did he win a belt from Canelo?
Nope.
Did he ever beat
That's
a
all.
champion? Wait,
He's lacking.
wait. Has Bivol ever beaten a world champion at light heavyweight?
No.
No.
Has he ever unified a title at light heavyweight?
Nope.
Is he a
No.
multi-weight champion?
No.
All he did was the only one thing on the list was beat a pound for pound fighter.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's not a stronger argument than Artur. Artur has title defenses like Dimitri, but he's already a unified champion now. This is the second, if he wins, this is the second world champion he'll take a belt from. The second. You haven't taken a belt from one. You got elevated to WBA after Jack vacated his belt. You didn't win it from nobody. And I think Bivol is great, don't get me wrong, but I got to be objective. You never beat no champion at your weight.
Do you think he could have beat Jack?
Yes.
I don't
At that time, yeah.
No, I don't.
At that time, yeah. Because
I
you know
just
what
find
Jack's problem was?
I just
You know
find
what
Get
Jack's
ahead,
problem is?
don't get ahead of yourself. That's the same Jack that busted. Well, I'm not going to say it's the same,
Wait,
but
Jack
it was
who?
around
No,
that
that's
time.
what I'm saying. It's not the same Jack, actually. It's not the same Jack. I was gonna say Jack is he's a slow starter. One, Bivol's gonna take him out of his whole game for them because that's Jack's thing. Because he got caught early in his career, knocked the fuck out, and every single fight since then the motherfucker don't start fighting until like round 5.
That is true, though. He starts
And Bivol
late.
and Bivol was a younger guy and inexperienced, but
But
bro,
Bivol
Jack
didn't
was
have a lot of
Jack
fights.
was
Bivol didn't have a lot of
No,
fights.
he
No, he
did.
didn't.
I just
And
wish.
that's where I'm like, maybe
Yeah.
maybe Jack would have, experienced later rounds, but I'm like, I will guarantee Bivol takes the first 6 rounds of clear.
I would have.
Because
I would have liked to
Jack was a
see.
motherfucker, but bro,
I would
he
have liked to
not
see
start
Andre
fighting until
Ward
round
stick
5,
around
for real.
75 for these guys.
I mean, look. I'm not even going to get into that because that's kind of just besides the point. The main thing is if Artur wins on Saturday, he has a more credible argument than Bivol. Nobody wants to say it because they think somebody's apologizing for Canelo. No, it's not fucking apologizing for Canelo. All you did was beat a naturally smaller fighter. That's not better
That's it.
than what Better Beef retired Vosdick. He retired him, fam. Vosdick never even lost. One
Now, Jules,
fight. That's it. I don't need to box no more.
I mean, even that, like, Better BF doing winning, he has more argument than Devin Haney and Shakur.
Nah, I wouldn't. I'm not gonna go. I'm not
Well,
gonna
I'm
go.
talking about in terms of beating more champions.
Wait.
And
Can we have that
defending.
conversation?
Yeah, I would.
He
Let's have
has
that
an
conversation.
argument
How
more
come he
Based on
doesn't?
that part, based on
Don't
that
you
part of
think?
your logic, Jules.
I'm wrestling with that
I'm not
because
going-
the
I'm
way
not
it
going-
looks, Devin's at number 9. It's not like Devin's ranked high for the same principle. You're undisputed. You're lineal. You're Ring Magazine. That was enough to get you in. It was.
You be the
But
champion.
you're the champion, and every undisputed champion should get that kind of consideration, not just Devin, right? But it's not like Jermell. Jermell beat Tony Harrison for the WBC. He beat Jason Rosario for the WBA and IBF, and he beat Brian Castano for the WBO. He took belts from 3 guys. You took 3 belts from 1 guy.
That's the thing. Not all the disputed runs are created equal.
Yeah, like it's not it's not the strongest argument, bro. It's not like whereas
Julius,
when I look at Artur, okay, now what's Artur got? The only thing you got on Artur is 1 more alphabet title than him because if he wins this weekend, well, I think no, he's not going to get the Ring Magazine. I just remembered he doesn't have that.
Nobody has it right now, right?
He's lineal, but not Ring Magazine because Adonis.
Yeah, because he is lineal. He is lineal. Like
most.
most people don't know, Artur's already lineal champion at light heavyweight because he took it from Vosdick and Vosdick took it from Stevenson.
Yeah. Stevenson just got stripped of the ring belt because he didn't fight shit for like 2
He wasn't
years.
fighting shit. You didn't want to fucking
Yeah.
fight nobody.
I think
So
the
nobody
rule is
has
that
the
you
ring
have to
belt right now, right?
you have to fight at
No.
least one top 10 rated fighter in your division by ring, or you get like in 18 months, or you get stripped.
And like, hey, look, I'll put it this way. Maybe Artur comes in at number 9, or maybe he comes in at number 10. But what I know for sure is after this weekend, if Artur wins and only if Artur wins, because if Joe wins, that's the only champion you ever want a belt from. Not strong enough argument for me to take Bivol out,
Yeah.
especially when he beat you. He beat
Yeah.
you. How the fuck do I take him out?
And it's
for
like
you?
and it's like Bivol beat pound for pound #1. You beat Artur. Who do you know?
Yeah, it would like imagine that like Joe beats Artur, so let me go and take the guy that beat him 2-3 years ago out for him because he beat Artur. That's the only. It don't make sense.
Can I ask you something? Wait. So I know you said you're wrestling with the Haney Artur replacement. So let's do a quick rundown. Artur, he would have beaten 2 champs. He would have like 7. No, not even. That motherfucker don't even have a lot of defenses because he's so damn inactive.
Yeah,
I don't know how many
like 3 or
defenses,
4.
but he probably the same as Devin. Probably the same because Devin got probably around the same. He would have unified more titles, beaten more champions, and he's lineal still. But the difference would be that 1 belt in the Ring magazine.
Yeah, and when you look at, and that's why I'm saying that he might. Maybe I put him at
and
number
less
9.
fights too. Less fights.
Maybe I put him at
More
number 9
KOs.
because it's the fights, bro. It's not just you
the
got
champions you beat.
It's the fights, bro. That's how you determine who got it and who don't. Like for example, let's say you got a dude. He fought one dude like Devin to become undisputed. Usyk had to go through a gauntlet of different fighters in different countries. That's difficult, fam.
And even then, when you look at who they beat, okay, let's do it. George is in the same situation. You beat one guy who like you basically got the easy pickings of the hard work. Really, that's what it is. Artur
on a bad night too.
And I'm not trying to diminish him, but I'm gonna say that Jermel's run impresses me more. Why? Jermel had to overcome a style that don't do him no favors in Tony motherfucking Harrison.
And he had to beat 3 guys.
Like Tony's a pure boxer, and I talked about this ahead of the fight. The reason Jermel lost, and I wish I would have paid attention, is because Tony's a pure boxer. He's gonna keep you out, bro. He's gonna keep you, and you're gonna look for an opportunity to knock him out, and he's not gonna give it to you ahead of the first fight. But I say, you know what? I believe in Jermel, and I'm gonna pick him to win that second fight by knockout. And he overcame, and that's when I knew this motherfucker's the real deal. Because a bad fighter cannot overcome a base style like that if he was a piece of shit. He's a good fighter. He can adjust. He could find the knockout. The fight that he just fought against Brian Castano, it was beautiful, fam. The perfect fight. He walked him in the shit and moved, and it's like he stayed on the perimeter of the ring, but he did not allow himself to be overwhelmed or outworked. Like, yeah, I'm on the perimeter, but I'm piecing you the fuck up. Every time you try to come in here, I'm piecing you the fuck up. It was beautiful. Perfect fight, all right?
Yo, man, that was a great performance.
It was great, and he put the cherry on top with the knockout.
Boom. Let him get up.
He has that shocker of a punch, you know.
Bro, he hit the dude. He caught him with a right, then punched him in the ribs, and that's what fucking dropped. It was beautiful, the shit. And I'm not trying to diminish Devin, but that is a harder road than George Kambosos.
Oh yeah, Brian Castano is a much caliber fighter than George Kambosos.
Yeah.
It kind of goes without saying that Jermel's road to undisputed, and Josh Taylor's road to undisputed, and Usyk's road to undisputed.
Canelo's road.
Crawford had to go through 2 champions for undisputed, really. But even that, he had to go through 2 champions. You had to go through 1.
Yeah, Canelo's road.
Canelo went to 3.
Canelo went through 3. If we look at every
2 different styles
of the guys that went undisputed, everybody's road was harder than his. But I give him credit, right? I still give him the credit. He's still on the list. It's just I can't pretend that it's the same as what Usyk. No, what Usyk did is very, very difficult, bro.
Yeah,
and I don't know how people that pretend to know boxing, bro. He was winning decisions on the road, fam.
During political wars, bro.
Russia.
They could have robbed. Listen, they could have robbed him in Latvia. That was a close fight.
Yeah, that was
a close
Yeah,
fight.
he went through bad boys too, man.
I'm gonna be real, bro.
He went through Gassiev. He went through. He went through.
He went through Gassiev. He went through Christoph Glavatsky, and he went through Murat Gassiev in Russia.
Yeah.
There was Huck as well. There was Huck.
Marco Huck, yeah, Marco Huck
too. Yep.
Christoph Glowacki. Yep. And
if you go back and you watch the Breeders fight, right? There was enough there that they could have took it from him.
When I watched that shit live, dog. I'm gonna be real with you. I thought I scored it for Usyk, but I was like, they're not gonna give him the decision, bro. And I was like, fuck, my guy about to lose. I picked him to win the tournament too. And I'm like, fuck, he's about to lose
too, bro.
his fucking fight. He's about to lose his first fucking fight.
I thought he could have got robbed in that fight, and not many people would have said shit.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like, because the fight
but...
was close. Now you think about the AJ fight, not close, right? But I've seen worse robberies. Maestre versus Fox, ring a bell?
Oh,
I've seen worse robberies, fam. If they felt like it, fuck the Ukraine.
Berlanga just fucking right now. He robbed the shit out of Angulo. He should have won that fight.
Yo, Julius, you got me to... Bro, you motherfucker. All that fucking Berlanga talk this morning, you had me watch that fucking fight.
Bro, he didn't win that fight,
bro.
He made you watch that
fight. He just kept talking about it. And how I'm like, man, let me watch it. I didn't watch Berlanga's last 3 fights, bro.
Tell me, when you watched the fight, be honest. Did you see him do anything to win that fight?
No, I thought he won maybe 2 rounds.
That's my case, bro. He spent that whole fight getting backed up, and
that was a robbery, bro.
And fighting Rome, he was fighting them off. But he wasn't fighting them. He was just fighting it like when Romer get and get the fuck out of there and spin off the ropes. That's what he was doing. I'm like, bro, how did he get a decision? And then you tack on that he bit the motherfucker. It's like, bro, you should have been deducted a point for that.
Even though they slapped him on the wrist, I'm glad they suspended him at least and fined
bro,
him.
he gonna be back in 6 months.
They should at least gave it a draw, bro. At least a draw. Like, you straight robbed Angulo.
Art of boxing ass. If GGG beats Canelo, well, I'm gonna tell you the truth. If Triple G were to win that fight, he'll get a good spot, bro.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. Think about what it would make him. That would make him a 2-division undisputed champion
at 40,
right? And that would be how many? Yeah, Triple G only ever beat Lemieux for the IBF.
Murata.
Boy, that would be
Lemieux. Right. He beat Murata, right. So he
would have beaten more champions than Errol. He beat the same as Taylor.
No, he'll beat the same. He'll beat the same as Errol, but he'll be a 2-division. He might land in 5.
Imagine him.
No, he's not. He's getting knocked the fuck out, bro.
No, I know.
Imagine him ending his career that way, though, man. That would be a hell of a way to go out.
Bro, I'm gonna go watch it at Raider Stadium. How that motherfucker gets knocked the fuck out.
I swear to God, he better get knocked out. Because if he don't, I'm gonna go in that ring and I'm gonna shoot him. I'm gonna shoot him.
Fuck,
no, I'm not paying you something.
Bro, ya tendré el francotirador ahí, güey.
I'm gonna be ringside, bro. I'm gonna look at him.
Well, let me ask Julius.
No es posible que este güey gane, bro. No creo, güey.
Nah, I don't think so.
Julius, your top
Canelo's on a vengeance, bro. He wants blood, bro. He wants revenge.
Nah, I'm
gonna take it out on this
bro.
motherfucker, bro.
He's chilling. He's golfing and shit. You see that?
Listen, all I'm saying,
bro, you better tell your man to get in the gym.
If they read those scorecards and I'm going to shoot him, bro.
Bro, you better tell your man to get in the gym. You better tell your man to get in that gym.
He's in the gym, bro.
Listen, bro.
Nah, he's on the golf course, bro. You see that post? Motherfucker doing a whole event.
Now, what you think Golovkin doing? He probably eating sardines and shit. Like, what you think?
That he's doing peds and training. Fuck out of here.
Listen, B. Listen,
EPO,
all I'm saying,
computer
if
roll.
Golovkin win that, Golovkin, he better not win that fight. He better not.
He's not.
Wait, Julius, I want to ask you.
Oh, hey, Julius,
who's the cash cow then?
Man, be cool.
I mean, who'd be the cash cow then after that?
No, I mean, this is but let's say this also. Just devoid of Canelo, let's talk about Golovkin. Golovkin is a cash cow, bro. He is, though.
He is.
Bro, the dude got paid $14 million for Steve Rose.
Yeah,
for a perspective.
He knew how to market himself, bro. He put himself in a lot of commercials and shit. He knew how to market himself.
He had Apple sponsors after being here for a year and a half, bro.
Bro, he had listen. He had Apple in America and Samsung in Asia.
Jordan,
He had Jordan. And the who blocked the watches.
And another perspective, aside from take Canelo out of it, aside from Gennady Golovkin, who else could get $14 million for Steve fucking Rose?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Hey, put it in perspective, Julius. Let's put it in perspective. Arrow only got what 3.5 for Ugas guaranteed. So what? And on the pay-per-view, what did he get? Maybe
Exactly.
$1.5 million.
But
Gennady literally got 4 times that. Basically, he got
with
guaranteed
the upside,
3 times
I
that
know
with
what you're
Murata.
saying. You saying Errol, even with the guarantee and the upside, he still made less in that unification match, that 3-belt unification match, than Gennady did fighting fucking Steve Rolls, fam.
Bro, wait, can we admit that Tom Loeffler got to be the best manager in the game, bro? Gennady has, bro. Or no, or Gennady, bro. That team, bro. Listen, like fight shit aside, bro. Look at the money he made in his career for what he's done, bro. What, like, I mean,
No,
now,
thank you.
what,
But
I don't feel bad for him.
look,
I don't feel bad for him for nothing because, bro, you got
if
paid.
we track it, right? The Lemieux pay-per-view was likely a career high purse for him. Then the Jacobs pay-per-view, the big money from the 2 Canelo fights, the big money. Then you tack on 14 mil for Steve Rolls, 14 mil for Sergey Didivianchenko. I don't know if he got 14 for Zeremata. I don't know if he got 14 for that. I think he probably only got like 7 or something like that. But the Murata money, which I don't know.
12 guaranteed.
I think he got like
minimum.
20 million for that fight.
Bro,
yeah,
he
because
was
in Japan.
I bet you he got
was
like 20
Right,
million.
he was in
Bro,
Japan, so
He
he
is cooling, fam. Like
Bro,
he about to fight Canelo again.
Yeah, but here's the
about
thing.
to say, and now he's about to get. He's gonna get like what 30, at least 30 for
Yeah,
this
well,
one.
yeah, but here's the thing. Once let's say he does win, then he will probably retire after that. So who will be the cash?
Nah, they could do a 4th fight. You could do a 4th fight. Itself. If Golovkin wins, you could do a 4th fight. You make bread off that.
Willie asked, let me ask you something, Julius. Who's the best at 154? Will Jamel's run even make top 10 as it is now? I'm curious because I already rank him high. Who's the best at one? Well, I mean, the best at 154 is Jamel, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have to be
I think
Jamel.
he means all time, Julius.
He is undisputed.
All time, I think he's top 5.
You could say that. You can say that.
Junior
He is
Middle
the first
Junior Middle
and
isn't
only.
when you think about it. Junior Middle it's had great.
It's a
fights
pit
to go
stop.
through it.
It's always
Yeah,
just
exactly.
a
It's a pit stop. Yeah, there's
Pit stop.
the
Yeah,
only
I
guys
can't
that
think
are
of anybody.
staple there is probably Winky.
Yeah, Winky,
Maybe
right?
None.
So you could say that he is the best 154 pounder?
No.
Terry Norris. Nah.
Top
Terry
5?
Norris.
Top 5 is not too high. Top 5 is not too high.
Benitez was 54 now.
No, Benitez was a welterweight, fam.
No, but didn't he go to? Oh no, he didn't. Never mind.
Norris was there. Terry Norris, I know, was there, but
who was somebody? Would you rank
Julian Jackson? Maybe no. Jackson.
No.
Well, Jackson was
McCallum.
and middleweight.
McCallum.
And he was middleweight.
Oh wait, no, McCallum fought him at 60. No.
What about
Julian Jackson? McCallum fought him at 54.
Yeah, I just said.
No?
Yeah, I mentioned Jackson. Julian Jackson was super welterweight.
It's you know why it's hard. It's like I think Felix Trinidad went up to 54. He had a couple of fights there. He proved himself there. I forgot against who though. It was a good fight. But I'm just thinking, is what Jermel did, even though they didn't go undisputed. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Is what he did better than Felix's run at that weight? And I'm like,
because like here's the thing, people. Undisputed matters. It does.
No,
matter.
It does.
But at the end of the day, the fighters do make the belts. So if you talking Tito, and I know what you mean, Julius. He had a good run at 54. I'm high as fuck right now, so I can't remember. But I know he had a good run. No, I know he had a good run. I'm like, you did a great thing, and you became undisputed. Tito didn't, but Tito beat some motherfuckers.
But can I compare this for you, Isan? Look, let me compare this. Gennady held 3 alphabet titles in the middleweight division, right? Mm-hmm. And he had a number of title defenses. The real number is not 19. The real number is
17. No, it's 17.
It's like, yeah, exactly.
Now,
exactly.
Like overall is 17.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, not the consistent ones, but overall. And it's
consistent
like, okay,
is 16.
You look at that, and then you know that, well, Hagler's not from the 3-belt era. But are we then saying that because Golovkin is from the 3-belt era, that he had a better run than Hagler?
No.
Come
No.
on. That's why I'm like.
No, but the thing is, no, Julius, I know what you mean, but you kind of So Golovkin's from the 4-belt era, yeah. Now,
the 4-belt era.
Hagler did hold all 3. He has 12 defenses of the undisputed title. But Golovkin, so they literally held the exact same titles, except that Golovkin was missing one. But again, who you beat is the that's
But that's
the
what
main
I
thing,
when I go into the resume, like, okay, we say he had a bunch of title defenses: Willie Monroe, Dominic Wade, Matthew
Martin
Macklin,
Murray,
Martin
Herrera.
Murray. Like, it's
You want
Curtis.
wait, Julius? You
Stevens.
want to hear an interesting stat though? I was talking to this guy. I was talking to my guy on Twitter about this. Golovkin has, I think, the third most wins over top 10 rated like ring guys, but it's like I'm just saying, like, he has 14. He has 14,
know,
but then it's like, okay,
I know,
let's look at it.
I
and
know
it's
the
like,
statistic.
I
I know the statistic. But when you look at the era, bro, just look at the era, and I'm like, okay, let's take Curtis Stevens.
Curtis Stevens. That little Curtis Stevens. Like, bro, you couldn't at least say Jacobs. You couldn't at least give him Jacobs.
Let's call Dr. Strange. Let's call Dr. Strange to open the portal.
Hey, listen.
Send those guys back there.
Listen. Hey, listen to this. All right, listen. Jacobs, Lemieux, Sergey, Murata. Let's put them against Hearns, Duran, washed up, even past it, Leonard, and let's put him in against Mugabe. Like
Mugabe.
It's 4-0 for Hagman's guys.
No, John Mugabe would beat the fucking hell out of all those guys, bro.
Oh God, bro, he would do that.
Like he would, bro. Like,
bro.
just think about it, bro.
You know what Golovkin's saving grace is?
would give those guys trouble.
Julius, you know what Triple G's saving grace is? Is he did what he was supposed to do with those guys.
And I know, but like,
let me say this.
Wait, let me say this.
Supposed to do.
Let me say this. Crawford, I have Crawford, and now you got Inoue neck to neck right now. And let's say that Inoue gets the final belt, right? The final belt to become undisputed at bantamweight. So him and Crawford are here right now, right? And I'm gonna be real with you, Inoue.
Yeah, I would place Inoue higher. Only
because
what it is?
He's doing this shit like it just ain't shit. Like it's over, fam.
And also,
Saitama man shit.
Also versus I love Crawford. I have number 2 right now, but I have to say it. Inoue's competition, if you compare it, I think the guys he beat were better, and especially when you consider when he fought them. He fought Taguchi in his first championship.
Bro, is a 4-weight champion, bro.
And I love Crawford. I like him more than Inoue. But bro, if he beats Butler, he'll have the credentials. Like Crawford.
This is what I'm like.
But then,
Donaire as a scout, like they talking all this. Oh, listen, this is what I know. Donaire is getting in the hall. 100%. He's getting. I know it. He's getting in the hall. He's a 4-division champion. He beat when I did the head count because I had to do the head count ahead of the fight just in case Donaire wins. I got my synopsis ready, right? This dude beat like 5-6 world champions, fam. Like, it goes without saying that Donaire is a better scout than Landongo. It's a better scout than Victor Pastal. It is.
Plus, Inoue's knocking guys out. And Stephen wins a little
at 40 years
come on to
old.
play.
So that, like, the only way, like, let's say in October, depending on which fight happens first, because Inoue said that they already started the talks for the fucking Butler fight, and they looking at October to do the shit, right? If Inoue versus Butler happens before Crawford versus Spence, Inoue going to end up ahead of Crawford. And then the only way that Crawford could get ahead of him is if he beats Spence, 2-time undisputed. Then definitely, I'm going to tell you what. If he becomes a 2-time undisputed champion, he's number 1.
Yeah.
But what happens if Usyk becomes undisputed heavyweight?
Oh, then Usyk's number 1 again.
Here's the problem with Usyk. Who's he got to fight to get the WBC title?
I know,
Tyson crazy ass Fury.
Yeah.
But if he did from boxing,
hypotheticals. Hey, listen. The Spence fight happening is just as likely as Fury to me.
No.
I'm talking shit. I'm talking shit.
Nah, let me read the super chat. Crawford got like $4 million for Landongo and $6 for Porter. Spence is under el bute.
That's sick, bro. Yeah. No, it's true. They gotta go on pay-per-view to get his minimum, bro.
Delo mio, don't let casuals distract you from the fact that Billy Joe has a better resume. He does have a better resume than that. Like people hear me say that and they think that I'm just being on my Canelo shit. No, I'm dead ass. He beat Andy Lee. He beat unbeaten Gary Spike O'Sullivan, unbeaten John Ryder, unbeaten Chris Eubank. Then he beat Andy Lee, and he outclassed David Lemieux in a fight that everybody picked him to lose, because that's the part that people tend to leave out. The bookies had Lemieux the favorite. They did not have Billy the favorite in that fight, and he played with that man. Billy has a better resume than Charlo by far and wide. It's not close, but Willie says we need more men like Butler. Agreed. He's going to give it a go.
And Billy's a two-weight world champion.
By the way, Warriors beat the Celtics and won the finals.
Golden State.
Bro, Inoue is gonna stop that dude in one round, bro. Yo, you know what's gonna suck, bro?
I
love
Smith
you, Inoue,
Castillo.
but you know what's gonna suck? That's
Shit,
gonna be the
bro.
worst. That's gonna be the worst undisputed fight ever, bro. Of the 4-belt era.
I mean, the other
That's gonna
thing
be worse
we
than
talked
Julius.
about.
Julius.
Listen, wait a minute. We talked about how all undisputed runs were not created equal, and one thing that is going to be a point of contention is that Inoue fought the same guy 2 times for 2 different belts. Does that make his? You know what I mean? It's like it looked funny that like I saw Usyk had to go through motherfucking Joshua and potentially Fury, right? If you think about Crawford, he had to go through Jeff Horn and Errol Spence Jr., right? So when because that would be the order. So Crawford versus Spence and Horn against Donaire 2 times, Paul Butler and who was and Emmanuel Rodriguez, because that's who he won the IBF from. Which one is stronger?
Spence and Horn for me. Spence and Horn. Because all right, so let's talk about the guys they beat then. Horn was coming off a Pacquiao win. Close, but Pacquiao win.
Yeah.
Donaire was coming off of beating what's this dude who had that back injury?
Ryan Burnett.
No, Burnett. Yeah, Burnett. Ryan Burnett. Okay. We know what that is. Come on, let's be real. Spence, even though lower, top 10, he is regarded as a top 10 pound for pound fighter.
That's true.
Nonito Donaire, now I know you have him and you have an argument for him, but Spence is a consensus pound for pound top guy. That's Whether true. Some guys rate him too high, that's a different argument.
But he's there.
Donaire wasn't a consensus, but Donaire
should have been. But he should have been.
Yes, he should have been.
How the fuck they go? Listen. Let me tell y'all one motherfucking thing.
They
still have Juan Estrada, who hasn't fought since over a year.
He has no fight scheduled still. He's
supposed to be fighting Franco.
Supposed to be, but I mean, look how long, bro. That purse bid was supposed to be like a month ago now.
Fam, I don't know if he's about to fight Franco.
Bro, he's gonna get knocked out. He's gonna get knocked out his next fight, bro. Whoever you fights, you better put money against him. Yeah.
No, and I'm gonna tell you what.
If it's Franco, he'll get outboxed. But
listen, let me tell you what. That's why he's not on the pound for pound. Because if Franco beat him, I don't want to be held to. Oh, he beat Estrada, who was pound for pound. Not on my motherfucking list. He wasn't. Fact. He was inactive.
He's not on mine either. Yeah.
He was inactive.
My list, bro. You have to at least have fought in the last 12 months.
I don't care.
There's no.
Or at least or at least if you already had a spot, at least have a fucking fight scheduled. Like
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like you have to have on the horizon of a fight or 12 months, because it's like Crawford's getting close. He is. I'm not fucking.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's that welterweight division, but damn, bro, you should have been.
He used to. We said it on another live that he used to be a more active fighter until he got to the welterweight division.
Yeah,
that's when his career slowed down.
You should be fighting cans at least, bro. You should be fighting at least a can.
I mean, one thing that I don't like is that if they do the fight in October or November, now I'm seeing it will have been a year since the Porter fight, bro.
Yeah, but if you want to get into like conditioning and how
You
they
know,
see
like I'm
themselves,
still picking them, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying that's one thing that you got to be like, yeah, I don't
I mean,
like.
but hey,
that.
listen, hey,
Hey,
look
I
at
bet
Julius.
you he
Julius,
stays
it
ready
was a
though,
year.
man. I
Hey,
bet
listen,
you he
hope.
stays in shape.
He's sparring
man.
Shakur and Haney and stuff.
Nah,
in there,
Julius.
like-
Remember though, he was up a year layoff before Porter too.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, Kell Brook.
That is true.
Listen,
I'm gonna read
Crawford's a
this super
special guy.
chat.
He's
I'm gonna
always
read
been
the super chat and I'm gonna go to sleep. At least he stepped to the monster like a man. I respect it. I love it. I love it. Now this has been another late night Toxin box. We didn't get to talk about the fight of the century being postponed.
Oh
Hey,
man,
morning
I'm
talk.
so disappointed. I'm
Bro, we'll do it
hurt.
in the morning. We'll do it in the morning, Julius.
Do it in the morning. We'll talk about Hunter versus Fury. Gentlemen, always a pleasure.
Are you on
All right,
live
brother.
for the?
Oh
for
my
the
Yeah, I'm
God.
fight
going
on
live.
Saturday?
I'm going live for Better Beat versus Smith. I'm going live for that.
Okay,
Yes,
man.
sir.
I'll see you
All right,
then.
man. Have a good night, bro.
Have a good
Catch
night,
y'all on
guys.
the